Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. I know you looked at this title, you looked at that thumbnail, and you're like, wow, Zenless zzzero got nothing else to talk about right now, huh? And you know, with my content, yeah, there's not really a lot to talk about because today's topic or today's protagonist is technically Manato, and we're going to be talking about his shoes. This might single-handedly top me talking about Bang Boo Yaoi between Robin and Butler of the stupidest video analysis that zzzero has ever had. Manato's shoes in Wise's room. Are these shoes actually Manato's? That is the question that we are going to be answering today. There is some backstory to why I'm making this video, because you're probably gonna expect me to say that a month ago people found Manato's shoe in Wise's room and people just ran with it. But Lucia, actually people found Manato's shoe in Wise's room back in November 2025, and I know because someone at me and was like, dude, you need to make a video about how Manato's shoes are in Wise's room. And I was like, what? Actually insane behavior, but like I am so for it. And yeah, people found a pair of Manato shoes in Wise's room, and they were like, I've never seen these shoes in Wise's room until right now, and these shoes are the same shoes that Manato wear. And I didn't think of anything of it. I mean, like, clearly I didn't make a video about Manato's shoes back then, so the year went on. We are now in the big year 2026, and comes in February and someone's like, dude, we just stole Manato's shoes right there it is, it's just chilling. And this tweet just went off. The previous tweet back in November was just in like a very niche circle, like the Zenless zzzero Twitter iceberg kind of go deep, and Manato's shoes was gonna be like super duper deep, but then like this tweet just went off, and then it got picked up by Zenless Zone gay Twitter, and thank you Doodlefish. But yeah, that is how we are here today, talking about if these shoes are actually Manato's shoes, and like the implication of if these are Manato's shoes. Let's talk about the ones in Wise's room first. I think the pair in Wise's room are just a brand new pair of shoes. I don't know why he has them out on display, like right on top of what I'm assuming is the box that came with the shoes, because you know, whenever you buy shoes you get a shoe box. That's crazy. I'm assuming that that is the box that those shoes came in, and he just has them on display for whatever reason. Maybe they're like $1 million shoes, so every time he looks at it he's like, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing this for. Michael Jordan looking down on me, he's believing in me. And as for not knowing that these pair of shoes were right next to the doorway of Wise's room until the 2.0 update of the game, doesn't hold water either, because as we see with this video from Hoyo Talk Indonesia, right here you can see the shoes are right next to the door, and this video was posted on July 4th 2024, aka the day that Zenless zzzero dropped. So day one, these are Wise's shoes. Is he a sneaker collector? Maybe, but I don't see any other shoes in his room unless I'm blind. Now what about these shoes in the February posts? Where are these shoes? Because these shoes are not in Wise's room. These shoes are actually on the showroom floor of Random Play. These are on the bench right next to the doorway. And if you look closely, there is another shoe that looks like the shoe on the bench, and that shoe on the bench looks like Manato's shoe. So the one next to the doorway and the one on the bench are probably the same pair of shoes, but one shoe is hanging on the wall for whatever reason, being displayed, and the other shoe is just laying on the bench. And for people that have never seen this before, me included, I did not see this shoe on the wall and the shoe on the bench. Here's one of my own videos where you can see the shoe right on the bench, right there. This video was posted in December 20th of 2024. So I'm assuming the shoe that was up on the wall, that and the one on the bench have been there since day one. So again, these just seem to be a popular pair of shoes that might have some significance that is significant enough for Bella and Wise to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna have one up on the wall, but like not significant enough for them to care to just have one laying on the bench. And also significant enough to have a whole new pair right next to your doorway, Wise. But let's take it a step further. Let's say that these shoes are manato shoes for whatever reason. Why? What? I mean, like, if we've met Manato and then we stole his shoes and Wise is like the ultimate protagonist gooner, then by all means. What if these shoes are Manato's shoes, but these shoes have been here since day one? So like, that means that we've known Manato even before we went to Phylum Heights, even before we ran into his chest. That technically means that for some whatever reason, we've had his shoes before meeting him, or after meeting him, I guess in this case. Look, like, if you told me this crazy conspiracy theory before Shunguan's update, I would have been like, what are you on? But now that after Shunguan's update, and like apparently we ran into Shunguan when we were babies in Phylum Heights, anything is possible. Like, what if we ran into Manato when we were teenagers? And again, like, Wise runs into Manato's chest, oops, by accident, because they were in Phylum Heights, and Wise was like, oh shit, my bad, G. And Manato's like, oh, don't worry about it. Oh, like, why are you running without shoes? Oh, my sister played a prank on me and she's running around with my shoes. Oh, well, my shoes are probably bigger than your feet size, but you can use my shoes. But what about you, man? And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. These shoes, I can like thrift another pair. That's cool, man. Oh, but like, I need to return them to you one day. Okay, well, if we run into each other, then like you can return them to me. And then ever since, Wise has these pairs of shoes right next to the doorway. Maybe, oh well, if you never considered that before, hoyoverse, yo, hit me up. If you're gonna make Manato an S rank, yo, I got the perfect story for you. Anyway, that's about it. In my personal opinion, I think it's busted. These shoes are just a new pair of shoes in Wise's room, and for whatever reason, we have a shoe right next to the door and right on the bench that you can sit right next to the door. So I think both are busted. These are both not Manato shoes. However, hoyoverse, if you want to hire me, you'll hit me up. I got a story for you. And you don't care if this busted or not, and you just want to see Wise be the craziest protagonist gooner to ever exist ever, then I mean, by all means, let me see it too. Like, let me, yo,